rewiring, I know that's expensive, it's all good out for plumbing, is that just one big thing?
Is that good? Yeah, is that even got a
It's broke
contract
out.
bid or what?
That was,
I
That's
don't
a-
mind.
The
Just
quote-
one company?
the quote was done by the architect, not by an actual contractor.
Yeah, it's being done right now. They did
The
an
architecture was
overview,
doing
and now they're doing the actual bid documents and stuff. As to, the engineers will do exactly what needs to be done.
It will go out on a bid deal, so somebody out of county can come in and bid on the project, is that
Oh,
correct?
yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna be posted. There may be somebody from Kansas City bidding,
Right,
I
that's
have
all.
no idea.
That answers my question.
Yeah.
And are the architects preparing three different kinds of what's the most? What's the
No,
middle,
they're
what's the least?
doing one, and then they'll do the bid, and we'll be able to select if there's something in there we don't want in there. But
I got a really simple question. Okay, so the $2.4 million is coming out of the web fund. Now, the way I look at it, I think the web fund should be preserved for economic development, for stuff for the county, you know. Is there any way the county can kind of look at this as a loan and actually put that money back into the web fund?
the incoming wind payments will be going into the web fund. We set up the web fund, Mr. Airbone, Mr. Wallace and I, we had a $5 million number that we were looking at. And then from $5 million, we were gonna go on and spend the money. Just keep a $5 million reserve fund there. That was our original intent. We've reached the $5 million, but now we have a project that we need to do. By our figures, it's gonna take somewhere around 6 years to put that money back in from the incoming payments, to get it back to the figure that it's at now.
And is
Since
that
you
with
locked
the
it
new
down in
negotiated
6
contract
years.
that you're having to do?
Do what?
Is that with the new negotiating of contracts, because you have a contract that is ending with the prior wind farm?
Yes, that's based on the amount of the new contract of the wind farm.
There's a lot that could go wrong in 6 years, that's why I'm saying, why doesn't the county go ahead, make very small payments, budget it, put it in the budget? I don't think that's that hard, right? But small payments back into the wind tower money, that way, yes, you're gonna get the payments over 6 years, you'll end up back at the $5 million mark or wherever. But not only that, you'll have a little bit of extra just in case something big does happen. You know, we have the bond issues coming up. That could be a little bit of tax relief for for the tax increase from the schools. You have like 1,000,001 things we could be doing with this money to, like, heck, you could even set $30,000 out of that wind farm, give it to the nursing home. That way they have a little bit of lien and she can still make her rent.
Well, I can tell you, since the first thought of the wind farm coming in here, there have been hundreds of different theories on how you could do things. And I'm not criticizing yours, Katie, but I'm telling you, everybody in this room could give me a different idea of how to do it. And a lot of people have, you know. We sat down, Mr. Erbo, Mr. Wallace and I, and kind of summarized everybody's ideas, and that's how we came up with the plan that we came up with.
Okay.
Didn't the original contract say for economic development, and the question was how is economic
I
development?
can't remember the exact wording of it, that was 10 years ago.
Communication and transportation, well.
I've read it recently, it definitely says economic development, and
For jobs.
I've spoken to a couple attorneys, and I have an appointment with the county attorney to talk about who is going to scrutinize the process between which line item in this proposal is defined under economic development so that the web fund money can be used versus which isn't. I mean, that has to, our county attorney has to be accountable to make that discretionary call. My personal proposal, just from a business perspective, was, you know, we're coming up on renewing a contract with the woman, with Kristen Robinson, who was here, with the woman who's running the nursing home, and if we were to take out $500,000 bond and contract her to the payments, it would be a little more than what she's making in rent payments, which we haven't received anyhow, so we could lock her into bond payments and cycle that money through, which makes her accountable for a like on a 10-year basis, $500,000 is like $4,200 something a month. So it would slightly increase her rent payment, but she would be contracted to make that to cover the bond payment, which wouldn't take away from our budgetary, line item, so to speak, for the nursing home. We would still be eating what we've been putting into it, but hopefully some of those repair problems that we've been spending money on would be null and void. So we'd be covering the property tax, which cycles around anyhow. We'd still be covering the property insurance, which is a lower payment than what we've been giving out yearly. So if she were contracted to make that bond payment, it would not only make her accountable long-term, but it would kind of cycle that money through. And like I said, that's for about $500,000. I mean, there are other grants, as far as I know, they haven't been started, but there are other grant options to fund some of that. But what I keep hearing is that the web fund's gonna be utilized, and I'm not sure when that decision was made.
Well,
I can't
we
find it
we don't
anywhere.
have a number, so we haven't moved and approved that was the discussion. That was where the discussion went between Mr. Hill and Mr. Wallace and I.
In an
When-
open
when-
meeting.
What?
In an open meeting.
In an open meeting, yes. And have we said that we're going to spend $2.145 million on this project? No, because we don't know what the number is.
Do you follow my proposal to contract her into a bond payment?
What's that?
Did you follow?
Yeah, I follow your proposal.
And
We have to be a little careful with that, because when you say bond, that means we must have an election in order to approve the bond, regardless of who's paying for it. So we have to be a little careful with that. And I'm gonna tell you, when I'm estimating the bond for the school district to cost is right around $7,000, a little under $7,000
For what total?
for a special election.
Oh, okay, well.
Because you would have to have a special election to approve a bond. And then if you're gonna do a $500,000 bond, if that's the case, then we might as well do the $2.4 million or what, 2.5 or whatever it ends up being, bond issue.
Well, from my understanding, I mean, if you wanted to consider it a loan, you could pull it right out of the WIP fund as a loan to her and contract her into the payments for a portion of that.
We would have to talk to the auditors about that, because in order to borrow money from a fund, you have to go through the no fund warrant process. You can't just, funds are a little different. You can't just take from one fund and put into another fund and then pay it back. You have to do a no fund warrant. And what you have to do with no fund warrant is, again, you have to pay bonding attorneys. And the last time we did a no fund warrant it cost us like $4,500 to pay for a bonding attorney. But then that allows you to borrow within your own accounts. And again, we'd have to talk to the auditors, because I haven't done a no fund warrant for quite a few years. That's what the city of Barnard's gonna have to do. They're gonna have to issue, for them, they're gonna have to issue no fund warrants, in which they're going to levy the money and borrow the money from someplace else. But if we're talking about borrowing the money from ourselves, we still have to do the same process. I wish that it was like we had a giant checkbook and we could just write out of whatever fund we wanted to, but that's not the way it works. And you have to show the state that you have no funds in that fund in order to pay for it, which that wouldn't be hard to do. But you do have to show the state, and the state has to approve those no fund loans.
Ready to recess for lunch?
Sure.
Guys getting hungry?